And now the afternoon play, which tells the intriguing story of Isaac Newton's spell as Warden of the Royal Mint. Ian McDiarmid stars as Newton, whose pursuit of London's most notorious counterfeiter proved him a man prepared to go to any lengths to solve a problem.
You are very beautiful. Let me hold your hand. Oh, yes. And let your eyes look into mine. I can see your soul. You are full of love. You will meet a man, and he will love you in return. He will be dark-haired, with a ferocious temper, but kind. He'll hold your hand, as I am holding it now, and he will stroke your arm.
Steady on, man.
Play the part, Tom. He will be a tailor by trade. You will have 5 children, 4 girls and a boy.
Can't I have all boys?
But beware. Beware of water.
And this is going to work for us, is it?
Trust me, I'll make us a fortune.
I preferred the thieving.
I'll do the talking.
My name is Dr. Huygens. I am Dutch.
No. My name is Dr. Paracelsus. I am from Germany.
I also dabble in alchemy.
If you touch my arse, Doctor, will it turn to gold?
It will feel like gold, but tragically it will smell the same.
The King's Coiner by Philip Palmer.
The mills start up at 4 in the morning, and I'm always here to watch them. Otherwise the men will smoke and gossip and waste whole minutes.
This place stinks like the very devil.
Horse shit and molten gold. A heavy brew. We have 10 mills, 50 horses. Each of these men has his allotted task. The sizers, the kneelers, the blanchers, the markers, the coiners. When I first came, I made a study of every man, every step and motion made. If you coordinate the action of the press and the movement of the coiner, a single man can flick out a coin and insert a new blank between 50 and 55 times a minute. I count them. Even when I'm not here, they feel me counting them.
You've done fine work, Isaac.
I know.
But
when you offered me this position, you said you needed help with the great task of recoinage. You told me that, as Chancellor, you wanted a man you could rely upon.
I meant every word of it.
You omitted to say it would be part of my role to investigate and apprehend felons.
It's a necessary evil, Isaac. A job that no one else would want to do.
It's a job that I do not want to do. These counterfeiters and coin clippers are the very dregs of society. What's worse, everyone knows that my agents are corrupt, and the constant vilifying of them is a reflection upon me. I am also exposed to the calumnies of coiners and Newgate solicitors who accuse me of the vilest crimes. Charles, I cannot endure a moment more of it.
What can I do to help?
I need a clerk.
Isaac, we've funded the regional mints. We've increased your manpower. The Treasury can't afford to
I need a
keep on...
clerk, or I'll throw over the whole damn business. You can find some other fool to run your mint.
Very well. You shall have your clerk.
What took it? Damn you, William. I could have been killed. All because you chose to fill your way to heaven with the baker's wife.
It was worth it.
It was worth it for you.
Ah, sweet Isabel.
They told me her name was Maria.
Perhaps. In the heat of the moment, names sometimes escape me. You're bleeding. Let me...
Leave it. You've done enough harm. Will, I'm sick to the stomach of this quack doctoring.
And so am I. I have another trade I'd like to resume. In Warwickshire, you know, I was a craftsman, acknowledged master of the Birmingham groat.
Counterfeiting is a hanging offence.
Yes, in court is a hanging offence, Tom. Here, look at this.
It's a piece of earth.
Break it open.
A shilling.
Take it out. You see the impression left inside the 2 pieces of clay?
Uh-huh.
That's the perfect impersonation of your shilling. Get out your money.
We could try using your money.
Don't be timid. Stoke the fire. Put the coins in the ladle. The real Paracelsus claimed he could turn lead into gold. But here, we start with silver, melt it, add some base metal.
Is that hot enough?
Oh, yes. We take silver coins and turn them into thick, thick broth. Adulterate, dilute, transform. You know I love a bit of magic. That's why I like the profit business. You spin a yarn, look a girl in the eye, then magic the skirt over her head. Ah, happy days. No matter. This will be better. Stir. Stir. Look at that. Oh, you beauty.
It's intolerable.
Calm yourself, Isaac. It's an anonymous broadside. We should ignore it.
It was drafted by Leibniz himself, trust me. I know his style, that conniving, sly, beetle-headed lawyer.
Which discovery is the writer referring to?
Hush, Catherine, don't interrupt.
Fluxions, my dear. What Leibniz refers to as the calculus. Isaac, my advice to you is to say nothing. Take the moral high ground.
Leibniz received my private letters on this matter and never acknowledged the fact.
Lord Halifax, pray forgive me. What exactly are fluxions?
Chatter, chatter, chatter. For pity's sake, can't a man hear himself think?
That's unkind, Isaac.
I'm
Your
sorry.
niece was merely
I didn't mean
curious.
to.
Leibniz is a charlatan. He knows no mathematics.
Oh, for heaven's sake, give the man some credit.
He is my enemy, and I shall destroy him.
Perhaps, Uncle, we could invite Mr. Leibniz to dine. Repair the breach somehow?
An excellent notion. We'll lay out our best silverware and search him as he leaves to see how many knives he's stolen.
Oh, no, searching him will be very crude. I propose we count the knives before he comes. Count again when he's gone and then simply subtract. A rather more elegant mathematical method, don't you think?
Fluxions, Catherine, is a method based on infinitesimal approximations. You find the slope of a curved line by drawing a tangent that's approximately the same, and then a closer tangent, and a closer tangent still. You sneak up on the truth with 10 million tiny footsteps. This is Newton's method, and it allows me to formulate the laws of motion, among many other things. Do you understand any of that, child?
Very little. But tomorrow I shall try and know a little more. The day after, a little more still.
Very good. I'll give you some tuition. In the mornings, 11 till 12.
Uncle,
Be sure I never have to wait on you.
I don't feel comfortable here. Look at that pike.
Just walk with a swagger. Make it look like you own the place.
That's Traitor's Gate. I lost my grandparents down there. And they've got prison cells in there, in the White Tower.
Not for the likes of you and me, Tom. That's incarceration for the quality, that is.
Are you sure this is such a good idea, William?
It can't fail. Here we go. The Royal Mint is this tower here.
I wonder if we're seeing the right person. They say that the master of the mint, Thomas Neal, is a man you can do business with.
No. Neil has palms so greasy, it's a wonder he can take a piss. He'd be too smart for us. But this other man, he's an academic. He spent his entire life in a Cambridge college. Trust me, Tom, we'll run rings round him.
Mr. Holloway, Mr. Challoner, how can I help you?
Pleased to make your acquaintance, Mr. Newton. Your reputation precedes...
Time presses, Mr. Challoner. How can I help you?
Well, sir, good question. A very fine question. Let me go straight to the heart of the matter. You, sir, are a fine-looking gentleman.
5 seconds, then we're through.
And I can see you're also a proud man, not one to suffer fools gladly. No, Tom, I have to speak my mind.
Hey?
There's evil and corruption at the Royal Mint, Warden.
I wouldn't doubt that.
Bribes and backhanders. They say the master, Mr. Neal, is implicated. I've known of innocent men who've gone to jail so the master's agents could claim their reward money.
It is indeed a wicked world.
Aye, it is.
It is, aye. Wicked.
If I can advise you any further in this matter, you only have to say the word. You're not the garrulous kind, Warden. I admire that.
The heart of it is, Warden.
No, Tom, we should be on our way.
But we have a proposal to share with...
We have here a man who already knows the truth. See, Tom, how he meets my gaze. That's a man who needs no telling. He knows he is surrounded by knaves and has contrived a strategy for the routing of them. Good day, Mr. Newton. It's rare to meet an honest man such as yourself. Tom?
We going then?
I just said so, didn't I?
Wait.
We are waiting.
What do you want of me?
I merely wish to be of service.
You want me to pay you for information? That can be arranged.
It must be vexing for an educated man like yourself to have to deal with counterfeit coiners and clippers, the very tag, rag and bobtail of society. I'm sure you've often thought to yourself, if only there was a way to nip this problem in the bud.
Your supposition is correct.
Take a look at this.
Ah, it's a golden guinea.
Counterfeit.
Are you bribing me with counterfeit currency?
The devil I am. I want that back. But look at the workmanship. See how high the king's head is raised.
It's better craftsmanship than any coin I make at the mint.
And see how the edges are milled and grooved. No ordinary counterfeiter would have the patience or skill to do that. I made that coin myself. It took me a month.
You're an artist, sir.
I've taught the method to my friend Tom Holloway here. Give him a job at the Royal Mint and he can make you 1,000 coins as good. And then you'll find, as if by magic, all the counterfeiters will vanish from the kingdom.
If I adopted this plan, what would your role be?
Well, I'd work side by side with Tom. And I could help you, if you wished, with your warden's duties. I could be your deputy.
Can you read?
Indeed, yes.
Without mumbling aloud?
Well, that's an impossibly high standard to set, sir, for a man of my background.
I stand justly rebuked. What is your background, Mr. Challoner?
I am a humble weaver's son, sir.
You have intriguing qualities.
Thank you, sir. You are a rare gentleman, sir.
Uncle, are you leaving already?
Yes, the afternoon shift.
You have a letter.
From Germany, yes, I saw.
You should open it.
It would only vex me.
It might be an apology from Leibniz.
Pigs might fly.
Uncle, open your infernal post.
Pass it here. Yes. As I thought, a trap. I have to leave.
Uncle!
Very well.
Let me read. It's a challenge. A mathematical problem that the greatest minds in Europe have been unable to solve.
He wants to show me up.
To determine the curved line connecting two given points at different distances above the horizon and not in the same vertical line, along which a body passing by its own gravity shall descend to the lowest point in the shortest time possible. Easy. Parabola.
You're not allowed to guess, Catherine.
Or another curvy line. They all look much the same to me. But honestly, Uncle, how hard can it be to solve this one?
I shan't even make the attempt.
But you have to.
Can't you see, if I fail, Leibniz will taunt me. If I succeed, he'll know I use calculus, and I'll once again stand accused of being a common thief.
But you invented calculus.
Catherine, no.
Then I shall write and inform Mr. Leibniz that you have declined his challenge, on the grounds that you no longer have a head for the mathematics. There's no shame in that, Uncle, is there? Uncle?
Yes, Catherine?
It's late.
I will not sleep tonight. My head is alive with thoughts. If only we knew today what the ancients knew. All knowledge was theirs. And for all our industry and invention, all we could ever hope to do is catch up.
Perhaps in some areas we know more than they.
No, not so. My work is not complete, but I don't know how to finish it.
You have your book on optics still unpublished.
Even so, I'm still no closer to knowing how it all fits together. Through the study of the frame of nature, we can come to a knowledge of the deity. I could know God. I could stand at his shoulder and stare in his eyes.
You expect too much of yourself.
I have half turned the key in the lock.
You're tired. You should go to bed.
Yes, I do feel very tired.
Perhaps you need to spend a few days away from the mint, so you can look at Leibniz's problem with fresh eyes.
Oh, that. That? I solved that little puzzle 3 hours ago.
You solved it? In a night?
It's a cycloid. You know what a cycloid is? This shape here. I had to devise some new mathematics to get there, but the result is certain. Cycloid.
Cycloid, indeed. Well, well. That's one in the eye for that damn German lawyer.
Yes.
We could go elsewhere if you're uncomfortable. The Blue Boar is not your roughest kind of public house, but it does have its detractors.
I am quite content. I spend much of my time these days in taverns and prisons.
Get that down, you.
I've never been a drinking man.
Nor I. Abstemious to a fault, that's me. Aside from the drink and the women.
Nicely qualified.
I'm a master of the judicious qualifications, sir.
On the subject of which we last spoke, there are financial implications. The cost per coin is too great.
That's damn depressing news.
But that's not to say we might not find some other way of working together.
Oh, now my spirits soar.
I make no promises, though.
And hence my spirits plummet. Soar, plummet, soar, plummet. Damn me, that pint of ale has vanished itself away.
Let me buy the next. I may have a vacancy for a clerk at the Mint.
Now that would be of interest to me. Would you care to play a hand of cards, sir?
Oh, I'd be of little use. I haven't played since my student days.
I bet you're a dab hand at counting the cards, though.
It is, in truth, one of my accomplishments. Shall we play for pennies?
I warn you, Mr. Newton, I have the luck of the devil.
Have some wine, Uncle.
I think I shall.
You seem flushed.
Yes, well, pleasantly so. I had a convivial meeting with a man I may hire as my clerk. We played a few hands of cards in a tavern nearby. I won 5 guineas off him.
Indeed?
Yes, indeed. Some things you never forget.
Your hand, is it scorched?
Oh, it's nothing. I scalded it during an alchemical experiment. It happened last night as you slept.
I didn't notice it this morning.
No matter. Perhaps you might play the harpsichord for me.
My playing is still very raw.
Still, it pleases me.
What's his name? The man you plan to have as your clerk?
William Challoner. Well, some might consider it an eccentric choice, but Challoner has exceptional qualities. He has more life in him than the next man. Do you understand what I mean?
Not entirely.
He lifts me. Forgive me, I'm talking rot. Well, play then.
Was an old woman lived under a hill. Fa-la-la-la-la-la-la. She's not dead, she lived it still. Fa-la-la, fa-la-la, fa-la-la-la-la-la. A jolly young man came riding by. Fa-la-la-la-la-la-la.
He called for a pot before he was dry.
Fa-la-la, fa-la-la, fa-la-la-la-la-la. He called for a pot and then another. Fa-la-la-la-la-la-la. He kissed her daughter before the mother. Fa-la-la, fa-la-la, fa-la-la-la-la-la. And when the day was gone and spent, fa-la-la-la-la-la-la, he begged the daughter with her mother's consent. Fa-la-la, fa-la-la, fa-la-la-la-la-la. We fund him, Tom. For all his cleverness, we have made Mr. Newton a fool at the end of a stick.
And this will make us rich, will it?
Aye, it will. William Challoner, the most accomplished counterfeit coiner in London, will have his own office at the Royal Mint. I shall be Isaac Newton's right-hand man.
The information of Thomas Carter, 4th July, 1697. He says that on January last he was familiar with one Sheila Pym.
Aye.
Who is a confederate to counterfeiters of the coin of this country, and that the said Sheila Pym did tell this informant she put off some Spanish pistoles on behalf of one Alfred Michaels and his companion Grosvenor.
Yeah.
Did you meet Michaels and Grosvenor?
I drank with them one night. Those two men can hold their liquor, especially Grosvenor. Grosvenor's brother William was there that night too.
Drunk to the pulp he was.
And is this William also involved in the counterfeiting business?
Oh, he's the arch-rogue of them all. The most notorious counterfeiter in London town.
I've not come across his name before. Who are his other associates?
He used to be in with Blackford Coppinger, till he was hanged. And he's a pal of Tom Holloway and his brother John.
Tom Holloway, I that name. The said Grosvenor, with notorious counterfeiters, in chief his brother, William Grosvenor, who was formerly an associate of Blackford Coppinger, hanged these 12 months ago.
Challoner.
What?
Grosvenor is the man's first name. His surname is Challoner. The two brothers are Grosvenor and William Challoner.
William Challoner, associate of Thomas Holloway, is a counterfeiter.
He's been in Newgate twice, but he always gets off, thanks to his trick of trumping up his services and stifling the evidence against him.
William Challoner.
You're late.
It's barely a minute past 11, Uncle.
Lateness is the token of a slovenly mind.
Then I apologise.
I'm wasting my time with you.
I hope you do not feel that. I've learned so much. I feel I'm beginning to
You are a
find...
faithless, betraying woman.
Uncle?
Don't bicker with me. I will not have this bickering.
Uncle, you're being unfair. I didn't... I see. Something is disturbing you. Is it this business with Flamsteed?
The business with Flamsteed is no business of yours.
Then, once again, I apologise. Please forgive me for calling on you like this, Lord Halifax.
You are a welcome guest. What is it? It's your uncle.
Something is preying on his mind. It makes him abrupt.
He's known for his terrible rages. As his friends, it is our duty to forgive him.
What can be distressing him so?
He once told Locke he wished he were dead. He insulted Pepys. We're all afraid of your uncle, you know.
I have always found him kind.
But scary.
Oh, yes. I should go.
I'll see you to the door.
Or I could stay a while, if that would be proper.
It would be quite... proper.
We could converse on political topics.
Or poetry. We could discuss our favourite writers. Do you read poetry?
Widely, voraciously. Do you?
Damn no.
We should stay on politics, then.
Mr. Needham!
Where's Challoner?
What brings you here, my friend?
Mr. Challoner, I've come to inform you that your application to be my clerk will no longer be looked upon favourably.
I'm damn sorry to hear that, sir.
And so I'll bid you good day.
Perhaps, Mr. Newton, we could...
Get your hands off me. I knew your game. I'll see you hang, Challoner.
You'll catch cold with such threats, sir. Take care.
I did not come alone.
A knife in the ribs could nevertheless be discreetly managed.
I've said all I have to say. I'll see you hanged.
You soft-headed cully.
Don't mock me. I will not be mocked.
You are mocked.
I do not make hypotheses. I observe, I theorize, and I test my theories against those observations.
Your point escapes me.
You and my niece. I've seen you touch fingers.
She has a charming manner. And charming fingers, too.
You mustn't take advantage of her, Charles.
She looks set fair to take advantage of me. She is a true beauty. I have written verses in her honour.
Your verse writing is execrable.
Isaac, I have a serious matter to put before you.
Don't change the subject. Your verse writing is truly execrable, and I'm not the only one to say
Allegations have been made.
Against me?
Yes.
I'm used to that. Death threats, too, become a matter of course. Whitfield and Francis Ball both say they will shoot me. Well, let them try.
The House Select Committee into the Royal Mint want you to appear before them. As Chancellor, I serve on the committee, and I have no choice but to be one of your inquisitors.
Inquisitors? Am I being brought to trial? Like a common criminal?
In effect, yes.
I will appeal to the King.
The King is already involved. He has taken the side of the complainant. Isaac, you face total disgrace. You should prepare yourself.
I am the only uncorrupted warden of the Royal Mint in the history of the post. You cannot doubt that.
Your accuser has persuaded many people otherwise.
And shall I know the name of my accuser?
William Challoner.
What?
You know him?
I do. He is You're saying he has supporters in Parliament?
Challoner is a remarkable man. It seems very likely we will vote to appoint him as supervisor of the Royal Mint.
That will never be acceptable to me. That's impossible. This cannot be. Mr. Secretary Vernon, Lord Halifax, members of the committee, I bid you good day.
Good day to you, Mr. Newton.
I have briefly read these allegations.
Indeed.
It has been proved and demonstrated that there has been a great quantity of counterfeit...
Perhaps, Mr. Newton, you would like to take more time to prepare your case.
A sound idea, Mr. Vernon.
No, I am content.
Then let us proceed to the business.
I shall tackle Challoner's main points in turn. First, that there have been a great quantity of counterfeit money coined in the mint. There is no truth to that. Second, that there have been puncheons given out of the mint to make stamps to counterfeit money with. Perhaps, but I have no knowledge of it. Third, that our present money is so disingeniously coined that it may be easily debased and counterfeited, which is false. In short, all these allegations are utter nonsense.
Mr. Challoner...
I've given you my reply, sir. There is no more to be said.
As I warned you, Mr. Secretary Vernon, he's fiercely defensive.
Mr. Challoner has demonstrated to us a superior method of minting coins. We have been very impressed by his diligence, intelligence, and courtesy. We are mindful of your reputation in other spheres, Mr. Newton. Perhaps the role of warden isn't fitted for your particular talents.
Challoner's methods will not work. I'd stake my reputation on it.
We've seen these methods demonstrated and were much impressed.
Well, then I can see they work, but they're not practicable.
In which case I would urge this committee to bow to the warden's expertise.
Mr. Newton, do you know for a fact that Challoner's methods are not practicable? Or are you merely speculating?
I know it for a fact. This is a coin we pressed with Challoner's method. You see, it's buckled and broke. The blank is too thin to stand, having a raised impression. It will not work.
You fool, you simply make the coin thicker.
I have explored that option also. Perhaps you would look at this coin, which, as you can see, is thicker and has the king's head raised in Challoner's way without any signs of cracking.
A fine piece of craftsmanship.
I agree. Superior to the Mint's previous efforts.
It was not made by the Mint. I cast this myself in my rooms with a forge and a hammer.
What?
Because of the thicker metal, it's relatively easy to hammer out the impression of the king's head, thus repudiating the idea that Challoner's coin is harder to counterfeit.
You counterfeited a coin, Isaac?
Yes, curiously experiment. Here. This coin, by contrast, was made legitimately by the officials of the Royal Mint using Challoner's method. Can you notice anything amiss?
Beware, it's a trick.
It seems genuine to me.
And so it is. Except that I have scooped out a portion of silver from the centre and plated it over again with copper. This gives us a new way of debasing coins. You don't just clip from the edges, you can gouge out from the middle.
There may be ways of preventing that. Perhaps with time, you and I working together...
I believe I have demonstrated that Challoner's way does not work. Am I done now?
Mr. Challoner has made a useful suggestion. Perhaps you and he should collaborate and make a joint presentation to this committee in a month's time.
Perhaps. Sometimes I would lie on the grass, staring at the sun for half an hour at a time. I tried putting needles in my eye.
Uncle!
See the patterns of light which emerge. Fascinating. But of course I could easily have blinded myself. I see now I went too far.
Age has mellowed you.
Oh, certainly.
I'm surprised to find you so jovial. After that bruising encounter with the Select Committee last week.
I think my views prevailed.
Oh, indeed. But it must have been galling to be called to account in such a way by a man like Challoner.
No, I'm a great believer in frank and honest criticism, and I accept there have been abuses by some of my agents, which perhaps I have been slow to deal with. With hindsight, I see Mr. Challoner has done me a great service.
My uncle is learning to forgive and forget.
I'll warn Leibniz.
I will not speak.
Deposition of Thomas Holloway, 3rd March, 1698. He saith that he hath known William Challoner, now prisoner in Newgate, for 5 years or more. They met at Wood Street counter, where both men were imprisoned for debt.
How did you know that?
You shared a cell with John Newbold. Newbold has become my informant. On being discharged from Wood Street, both men fell into bad practices and practiced a trade as quack doctors, otherwise known as piss-pot prophets, assuming the names of Dr. Paracelsus and his servant Gustav.
Are you a wizard? How could you know all that?
You bragged one night to Coppinger. Coppinger told the chaplain who shrived him before he was hanged. The chaplain told me. We also have a private deposition from the baker's wife. Shortly after this, you met Elizabeth, who became your wife, Elizabeth Holloway, who will shortly be arrested and tried as a common bawd. She'll likely escape with a flogging.
I will not speak against William Challoner. Nothing will induce me.
Then you will hang with him. We have another witness who can testify you and Challoner are counterfeiters, John Piers, the clockmaker.
Damn it. I never liked that mean-hearted son of a bitch.
He tells me you made Spanish coins together.
We did.
How many?
40. And as many guineas. And some treasury bills. Am I your evidence now, Mr. Newton?
You are Tom Holloway. The informant saith that he and the said John Piers...
La la la, la la la. She's not dead, she lives there still. La la la, la la la, la 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 la. Lord Halifax, I'm honoured.
Please don't get up.
You're too kind, sir. Right, put your ass to anchor on that stone
I
bench.
can only give you a few minutes of my time.
That's all I need to tell you the truth about Isaac Newton.
The information of John Piers, taken upon oath, 18th day of May, 1698. Look, this bit is good. Further, that he, that is Piers, had heard the said Challoner often say that he had funded the Lords of the Treasury and the King out of £1,000, and that he would not leave the Parliament until he had funded them likewise, which this informant understands to be deceiving them. You see? Categorical proof.
Isaac, Challoner has made an allegation.
That is typical of him.
He admits showing Holloway how to counterfeit coins, but claims he did it as an experiment.
Let the jury decide on that.
But he says he was never in business with John Piers. Piers came to him, possessed of counterfeiting tools, in an attempt to draw him in.
Piers is a counterfeiter.
He has no such reputation as far as I'm aware.
What are you suggesting?
Such abuses have been known. Innocent men deceived and lured into committing crimes, and perhaps you were led astray in this matter by the messenger of the Mint.
Morris is my tool. He does my bidding. What has Challoner told you?
He said he's invented a new and superior method of counterfeiting with the use of a metal plate. Only 2 men know his method. Tom Holloway, who told no one, and you.
Me?
He claims he taught you his method one afternoon in the Blue Boar Inn.
Why, he would have been mad to do so. I am Warden of the Mint.
He said he taught you as a jest, and you took it in good part. And yet when Piers approached Tom Holloway, he knew all about this method and had the requisite plates and other materials. Fortuitous?
Hardly. These are birds of a feather.
Challoner believes you paid John Piers, that you set him up in the counterfeiting business in order to draw Challoner in.
I admit or deny nothing.
Isaac, Piers is known to have been putting off counterfeit coins with material supplied by you, with techniques taught to him by you.
If we were to suppose, on a hypothetical basis, that I had done all you say I have, then what of it? It's caught me Challoner, hasn't it?
You are taking a terrible risk. If you are exposed, you will be disgraced. You might even be hanged as a confederate of counterfeiters.
I have learned to accept an element of risk in my affairs. Mine is a dangerous business.
Yours is a... Isaac, you're a mathematician.
No. I am the wrath of God. Tell me, then.
I am in love.
I'm pleased for you.
Lord Halifax has said that he loves me too. You don't approve?
Lord Halifax is my friend. He is also a man of the world.
He drinks, he likes to gamble, he has known many lovers.
You know of this?
He tells me everything.
I doubt that.
He tells me enough. Enough to shock a little provincial girl.
You're hardly that. Not anymore. This is a delicate matter, Catherine. Charles is a baron. He comes from a noble family. Marriage to someone of your background would be...
I know all that. We will not marry.
Then, what? No, don't answer. Let me pursue the argument to its logical conclusion. You will be his mistress?
I believe that is indeed the correct term. We will live together.
Catherine, damn you, you will do nothing of the sort.
We will be as man-wife.
I won't allow it. You cannot live with Halifax. Either he marries you, or I will bar him from this house.
Uncle, don't be foolish.
I won't see you insulted like this.
I'm not insulted. I love him, and he loves me in return.
Yes, you said.
But we have to live by the rules of society. He cannot marry me.
If you live with him, it will be a scandal.
We will brazen it out. I would like you to give us your blessing.
And if I will not, what then? Will you turn him down?
Yes, I will.
Oh, damn you.
I love you, Uncle. I will do nothing to hurt you.
Did Charles tell you about Fastio?
I have heard of the gentleman, yes. A brilliant young mathematician.
Charles calls him my folly. I adored him. He was more to me than... I stepped to the brink, then stepped back, for I knew there might have been a scandal.
You are averse to scandal.
I'm averse to anything that means people are prying into my business. I am my own man, closed off, answerable to no one but my own God.
Uncle, I could not bear you to disapprove of me.
I do not disapprove.
And do you find the defendant, William Challoner, guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
Isaac, stay calm.
I am calm.
Well, what a pleasant surprise.
I'm a free man, your lordship.
Yes, I know.
I've come to shake you by the hand.
There's no need. It's the jury you gulled, not me.
You've a sharp wit, sir. May I have 5 minutes of your time?
Ah, Catherine. This is the scoundrel I told you about, William Challoner.
I thought you were to be hanged.
Not yet, and not ever if I can help it. If I can persuade that dung-loving warden of the mint to cease his harassment of me.
And the warden, Mr. Newton, is my uncle.
Madam, I am mortified. Shall we adjourn to the drawing room?
I think not. Speak your piece, man. You want charity?
I am drafting a letter to the king.
What?
Now this misunderstanding is cleared up, I thought a role might be found for me.
You thought wrong. Flee London while you still have time.
I'm not without friends.
Secretary Vernon has disowned you. We have all disowned you.
But you're in my debt. I have opened your eyes to many matters concerning the counterfeiter's trade.
You do, I suppose, have a point.
Then you will help me?
Challoner, for pity's sake. I cannot. I cannot.
Mr. Challoner, correct me if I'm wrong. You are a professional thief, are you not?
Madam, I am the leopard who will change his spots.
I don't understand your role in this affair, Charles.
I like the man. He charms me.
He does have charm.
And talent.
Considerable talent. He can lie even when inhaling.
He deserves a chance.
You think so?
I do.
If he commits a crime, should I ignore it?
No, of course not. All I ask is that you refrain from...
What?
Can you not let bygones be bygones?
I miss Catherine.
You see her every day.
Even so. She seems happy.
We are both happy.
Good. Is there more to be said? I need to return to work.
Yes, of course. We're agreed then. About Challoner. Isaac.
Good day, Charles.
Mr. Newton, you're most welcome.
Thank you. May I?
Come in, come in.
I cannot stay long. Mr. Challoner, you live a charmed life.
I was fairly acquitted, Mr. Newton. You know that.
I know nothing of the sort. You bribed Tom Holloway to flee to Scotland. I have documentary proof of it.
The verdict still stands. Tom's a good lad.
But I concede in your dealings with John Pearce, the clockmaker, you proved to be a fly cove. Holloway was implicated. You were not.
A good judge of character, most of the time.
Still, they're done.
They are. I have turned over a new leaf.
I'm glad to hear it.
I have truly learned the error of my ways.
Good. Good. You should not have made an enemy of me, Challoner.
I realise that now. But you can be sure, Mr. Newton, I'll steer clear of your neck of the woods from this day on. I'm not one to make the same mistake twice. To be perfectly frank, I'm thinking of standing for Parliament. You know they passed a bill based on my recommendations about the mint. That's a boost to a man's self-esteem, if ever there was one.
I admire your ambition.
Lord Halifax has promised to help me.
To stand for Parliament? I doubt that.
Nevertheless, his good word means a lot to me.
Aye, he's a loyal friend. Tell me, Challoner, are you familiar with a man called Thomas Carter?
I can honestly say I've never heard of him.
He claims you and he counterfeited malt tickets together. Also 100 Spanish pistoles and as many guineas. He claims he has had dealings with you these 5 years since.
I've never even met him.
He has made a full and frank deposition.
Mr. Newton, please. If you're going to produce perjured witnesses, you might at least find a man who knows me.
Carter knows you as well as any man alive. He knows every detail of your life. He knows of the quack doctoring and the Birmingham groats. He knows of your girl in Hatton Garden. I've coached him so well he half believes himself to be your soundest friend. When they hang you, it will break his heart.
No, I don't believe you. You would not. A week ago, I walked out of court a free man. You can't send me back to die on the evidence of some man who counterfeits himself my friend.
The King's messenger is waiting outside to make the formal arrest.
You have won, Mr. Newton. I have been well and truly beat. Isn't that enough?
I said